Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's episode is all about the brand new Tom Ford Soleil Eye and Cheek palette in Violet Argenté. So this is, I believe, a limited edition face palette like the three others that have already come out, the Cool, the Warm, and the Solar Exposure. I purchased this off of Beautylist during their gift card event. So if you're interested in hearing my thoughts about this, seeing some swatches, watching a demo of me putting it on, which is this look right here, then just keep on watching. So here is the Violet Argenté Eye and Cheek palette from Tom Ford. It comes with a blush, a highlighter, and 4 eyeshadow shades. I have the Warm palette and the Solar Exposure palette. I believe the Warm palette has pretty much sold out at this point. The Warm palette came out with a Cool palette, which I never purchased. The Cool palette I think is still around. Anyway, if it is still available, I will link it down below. So I have the Warm palette and I also have the Solar Exposure palette. I don't have the Cool palette, but I'm just gonna hold them up to compare because they are visibly very different. So this is the Warm palette, this is the Violet Argenté, and this is the Solar Exposure and Violet Argenté. And I don't know if anyone is curious, I know there was a lot of talk about the Solar Exposure looking very similar to the Warm palette, and they do, but the Solar Exposure is almost like a super toned down version of the Warm palette. It's like they just desaturated this palette and came up with this one. So it is fairly different. The Violet Argenté is even more different from these two because it is definitely much cooler in tone. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch these for you. So here are all the powders swatched. So this is the blush, the highlighter, this is the light shadow. You can barely see that on my skin tone, but it's actually a really beautiful, super, super light pink. Here's the pink, the brown, and then here is that really vibrant purple color. It does not swatch well and it does not apply well. So again, in this palette, the shades are very, very cool toned. They're very pink leaning. The highlight, I don't know if you can see it, but it definitely has a little bit of like a light pink shift to it. I feel like most of the Tom Ford highlighters that I've come across always have either a peach or a gold or a rose gold sort of shift to them. This is definitely a departure from that. This is definitely more of like a pinky icy kind of highlight. The blush is also sort of like a very dusty pink kind of color. Again, very, very cool. And then the eyeshadows, aside from this brown color, are very, very cool. This shifts very kind of like icy pink. I have that in the inner corners. And this is obviously straight up pink. This is actually a very kind of dusty rose color. The brown is a really nice, it's just a nice medium tone brown. And then this purple is, I believe, meant to be a topper. At least that's how the formula feels. So anyway, let me go into the demo of this palette and I'll give you my final thoughts at the end. So I've prepped my face. I have, you know, foundation, concealer, powder. I have a little bit of bronzer on and I'm ready to go in with the palette here. So I think I'm going to just start with the blush and the highlighter and then I'll go into the eyeshadows. I'm going to go in with the blush first. I have my Wang number 12 brush and I'm going to lightly, it's pretty pigmented, I'm going to tap off that excess. I'm just going to put that right on my cheeks. Really pretty, cool toned pink. And then I'm going to dab a little bit onto the apples of my cheeks just to give myself a little bit more color. I'm feeling a little pale today. So there's the blush. I think it's a really pretty, pretty pink. Not a lot of peach or anything in there. I think it's just a very like solid kind of cool toned pink. So let me go in with my Anastasia highlighter brush into the highlighter here. Picks up a lot of product, not especially powdery in the pan, so that's good. So this highlighter has a really super icy tone to it. It's really pretty, but it is very, very cool toned. Keep that in mind. Definitely has like a very strong pink tone to it. I think maybe it could be a little too light for my skin tone. Maybe if I didn't bring it so far in, it would be better. If I kind of kept it out here, it would be okay. I think once I bring it a little bit too far in here, it looks a little weird. But back here it looks okay. So I'm just bringing it down the bridge of my nose. All right, I think we're good. Let's move on to the eyeshadows. So I'm going to start with my Tom Ford number 13 brush, and I'm going to go into this pink shade here. I'm going to put this in the crease area. And then I'm going to use my Wang number 18 brush. This is the flatter one, and I'm going to go into the brown shade here. And I'm going to tap that onto the center part of my lid and move out. And I'm just going to blend that into the pink over here. And next I'm going to take a smaller flat blending brush. This is the Surratt Classic brush in, I believe this is medium. This is the one I just purchased. And I'm going to go into this light shade here, and I'm going to focus that on the inside of my lid here. I'm going to take that first blending brush, the Tom Ford number 13. I'm going to go back into the pink just ever so slightly and blend all this out. And then next I'm going to take my finger and tap it into this purple shade, and I'm going to tap that onto the outer corner of my eye. I'm just getting up close because you can see the purple topper there, but it is very, very sheer. So there are the eyeshadows. The purple is very, very sheer. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up my look, and I'll be right back. So all in all, I think this palette is okay. I don't think it's one of Tom Ford's best. I'm definitely disappointed in the purple shadow. The brown shadow, while I think you can eventually get enough pigment on there, it does take a little bit of work, which is a little bit annoying. The blush, the highlight, and these two shadows I enjoy very, very much. So do I think you need to run out and get this? I think if you're looking for like a monochromatic look, you know, if you kind of get rid of these two shadows, or even if you just get rid of the purple, you get a really nice monochromatic look there between the blush and the eyeshadows, and then you can just pair it with, I'm pretty sure most of us have a really nice pink lipstick there. So that could work really, really well, you know, if we just sort of ignore this purple. It's just such a shame that when you see this palette for the first time, or you open up this palette, you're immediately drawn to this purple, and I feel like it's almost deceptive. So, you know, if they just got rid of this, I think that could be a really nice sort of monochromatic look. Again, I like this palette. I don't think it's amazing. I don't think it's Tom Ford's best, unfortunately. So there you have it. That is my review and demo of the new Tom Ford Soleil Eye and Cheek palette in Violet Argenté. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Please let me know your thoughts or your questions down below in the comment section. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next video.